Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're enjoying this festive period that is going on in EVE Online. Now, what we're going to be looking at today is possibly one of the most absolutely broken events that's ever happened to EVE Online. Now, yeah, we're going to be looking at mining sites. You heard me, mining. I know. Before you click off, just think, oh my god, he's gonna show me how to mine. And no, it's not going to be that simple. I'm not going to sit there and show you exactly, oh, let's watch this strip miner cycle. No, it's not going to be that. I'm going to show you the good bits, the bad bits, and the utter broken bits. So, before we do get into this, I want to just say there are going to be some serious issues with this event that I'm going to highlight. Now, it's hit and miss. It depends on how you look at it, but we are going to be looking at it, and we're going to be going into detail on just how much you can potentially make. Now, I've been doing this a couple nights, 2 nights only. Yes, a couple is 2 before anyone tries to dispute that fact. A couple is 2. Now, we are going to be looking at how much I've made, because in the last evening, last evening or 2, doing a few hours a night, I've made nearly 2 billion ISK. Yeah, 2 billion from mining in 2 procurers and an endurance. Yeah, the endurance is mainly there for... I'll explain to that in a minute. So let's get into the site, and I'll show you what we're doing. Now, these are, I believe, there is 3 variations to the site. There's a high sec, low sec, null sec one. We're going to be looking at the null sec version, and there are many broken things with this one. I'm going to be popping up a few things on the screen for you now. The first one we are going to be looking at, the reason why this is so broken. Let me just warp my tiny little fleet there. Yes, we want to get our fleet out there. So where are we? Here we are. That's the one. Warp fleet. Yes, we want to warp our little miniature fleet over there. Our little absolute ISK printing machine of a fleet. And yeah, you heard. Words are on point today. So we are in nullsec. We are in Delve in particular. Now, yes, we have the strong volatile ice storm. So yes, there's a nice little bonus to the 25% heat damage from overloaded modules. Not really relevant here. And 10% increase in ship thermal resistance. Bonus, because these guys do thermal damage as well as EM. Before anyone says, I know they do EM thermal. But yeah, so we're going to be warped to this site. Now, they are very simple setup. They are cap stable, not faction, not shiny. I'll just quickly show you now before anyone says anything. So we have 2 small cap batteries, an invuln, and a medium shield booster. Then the rest is yada yada yada. So let's just get in there first. So you come to this acceleration gate, and honestly, the riskiest thing about doing this site is that gate. That is the most riskiest thing, apart from the NPCs inside. But if you can't deal with NPCs in nullsec, should you really be there? Boom. So we are in the site, and the first thing you noticed, oh my god, that is a Sancha battle tower. Yes, it is. Has nothing to do with the site whatsoever. You will notice how there is an ore, fresh, volatile ice processor. In other words, an NPC orca, which is where you trade your ice in for the items which are utterly broken. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is launch all drones, and I'm going to assist them or guard them on one character. So I'm going to do it onto my main Galaxier. So we're going to assist or guard, because for some reason they seem to go for him. Now, when I got there, as you can see, I've got my little endurance. You want to drop a mobile tractor unit here. That is it. And then you send all your ice mining ships off to these icicle block key thingy bobby dewy heat. Yeah, that's it. Those things. And we're going to send ice over the procurers over to there. They're just fit with ice harvesters. Then all you are going to do is sit and wait for the cash to flow in. It's not Liquidus. Before you say anything, what you do is you get these ice blocks, which is their friable volatile ice, and it says here the description is friable or most valuable materials, and yada 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 yada. There you go. So these basically, as well as dropping ice, you cannot refine these in an Athanaut or anything. Just thought I'm gonna put that out there. You cannot refine them into anything useful, because look, there's no refine. Same weight as ice as usual. All the same good stuff. Now what we are going to do is we're going to start mining. Yes, mining. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch the process of mining, because I'm imagining if you are at this point in the game, you know how well to mine some ice. So it's the same process, but all we are going to do, very, very simply, is we're going to jettison the ore. Yeah, that's the ice. And we have some NPCs coming in. So we have a couple destroyers and battle cruisers. Yeah, sometimes you get 3 battleships. That's a little bit hairy, and you may need to come out and back in depending on how well your ship is tanked. If you're in a skiff, you will not have any issues whatsoever. It's all risk versus reward, etc, etc. Now, this is where it gets interesting, or not so, depending on how you look at it. So as my MTU pulls all that in, it also is going to pull in the ice that I jettison, and you trade the ice in, which I will put up on screen in a minute. Once I've got a bit, you then trade it in for a certain item which you collect and you put in your inventory, and then you take it back to station and you unpackage it all, and there you go. That is where your money is. The money is not in these ice blocks at all. It is not in this itself. It is when you trade. The broken part of this is when you trade it all in at that orca, and I will show you very shortly on just why. Now, I am going to be bringing up on the screen exactly what ships you can bring into this site. So while you're in nullsec, obviously you have roaming fleets, people that filament out to these to come and do these sites and so on and so forth. These are the ships that you can bring in. Now, as you can see, there is no form of, in quotation, combat ship. Yes, you can make a battle procurer. Yes, you can make a battle skiff. Anyone can do that, and anyone can make any of those ships into some form of PvP ship, but not a very efficient one. Yes, you can get some alright tank on them, so on and so forth, but you are not going to get an effective PvP ship in those ships. Now, as you can see, it is all Tech 1 and some Tech 2 industrials, as well as the mining barges and the exhumers, with the exception of the porpoise. So you could min-max this to crap. You could bring in 4 or 5 skiffs and a porpoise boosting. Yep, you are going to clear these very quickly, and it's pretty much risk-free, because as those ships are the only ones that could come in, currently, in where we are, no one is getting that in, because there's a big, massive gate camp at the other end of the constellation. But in nullsec, again, if you're bringing any of those ships through nullsec, there's a good chance you're probably going to get annihilated before you get to one of these destinations, unless you filament out. And then, yeah, that's the only way you can get to it, to nullsec ones, which I highly recommend, because once you're in these sites, people then have to come at you in these ships. Yep, they have to come at you and attack you in these particular ships, because otherwise they're not going to get in. Now, I've had, on the acceleration gate, wanting to get in, I've had Hecates, I've had Gnosis, I've had small roaming gangs sit on the gate trying and like at 0 trying to get in. I've had an alt watching them. I always like to keep an eye on who's trying to get in, and then laugh at them in local quite publicly when they can't get in and they start crying about it. So that is why it is broken, because I've gone AFK. I've sat and watched episode upon episode of stuff on Netflix, and only look down to jettison ice. That is it. I don't even have to pay attention to local. I don't even have to pay attention to any intel channels, and I can sit 90% AFK. It's brilliant. It is so broken, and the money that you can make from this is absolutely astonishing in nullsec. Now, if you're in highsec, I would highly recommend using one of these nullsec filaments. Yes, you may get some people coming at you in industrials. Okay, so you warp off and then you just filament out, because that's what you can do. You can use these filaments, popping up on screen now. These filaments, you've got your high sec, low sec, null sec, and you can take them out in groups of 1, 5, and 10, just like your normal yeet filaments, as they're called. So you can take them out to directly into low sec or null sec, and you can get yourself out there. As long as you get into one of these sites, you're pretty much safe from the roaming gangs of people that live in the space or just roaming that space. You are pretty much safe unless they have an army of industrial ships to come in at you with. And so once you've done that, once you've spent probably, now with 2 procurers, it takes about an hour and a bit to clear all this ice, because it is spread out. I mean, that one rock over there is 100 kilometers. So what I tend to do is have the endurance mining 1, these mining 2, then they just, that one will go there to mine those 2, procurer will go there to mine those 2, and the endurance is doing most of the distance because it's got a micro warp drive on. So every half hour, 45 minutes, I'll go and hand in the ice. Here we are. So jettison, and jettison off the endurance. And I will, as you can see, yep, So that pulls it all in to where the orca is, and then it's literally a case of take out the MTU or the cans, trade it in at the orca, get the red salvage boxes or whatever they're called. Then once you've stacked up enough of them, go back to station, open up, and see just how much money you've got. Now, I did this last night for a few hours. I think I did 2 sites, and I had about 600 million worth of stuff. And I did it the night before, and I got 900 million worth of stuff. It is absolutely broken, because not only are you getting the red boxes from there, you do get something called unusual salvage container, and those things have anywhere between 25 to 60, 70, 80 million worth of stuff in them. You get faction items, you get salvage, you get Tech 2 salvage, you get it all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mine a bit of this. I'm going to leave it running while I go to the shop and get some bits and bobs, and then probably put a film on. And once I've got a good number of those salvage boxes, I will show you opening them up. And I think that is pretty much everything you need to know with this, because yes, this ice respawns, by the way. So you mine it all, and then about half of the belt respawns again. So once you mine it all, it will disappear off the scanner. So no one can actually warp to you then unless they probe you down. And then once they probe you down, they're going to have that acceleration gate they're going to get to. And if they've used anything other than an industrial to probe you down, they ain't coming in. It's hilarious. So it's possibly one of the safest and possibly one of the best disc makers in nullsec at the minute, because it's just AFK, watching films, mining this crappy ice, and trade it in for some crappy little items, open those boxes, and boom, you've got 400, 500, 600 million. It's that easy. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away for about an hour or so, come back, and we'll open up some boxes. So here we are, boys and girls, finally, after I think it was about an hour and a half, maximum an hour and a half, we got 33 ore red salvage package. Now, these are like your usual crates that you open. It comes up with a nice little picture like that, and yada, 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 yada. You go through this little random little whatever you want to call it, and you just pick out these items. So as you can see, you get some overseers effects, you get some salvage. So the first one is 3.5 million. Now, I'm going to go through these pretty quick, and we'll see what the total value is at the end of this. So there we have it. An hour and a half work, 200 million. That's on the low end. That's actually quite low for what I've normally got. That's not well, some of these boosters are actually pretty decent, but that's not including these other ones that you get. I didn't actually, on 3 characters, I did not actually get one of these unusual salvage package, and they open between, as I said earlier in the video, that between 30 and 70 million. I didn't even get a single one of those in that site, but that, you know, it's the luck of the loot draw. Now, as you can see, 200 million, and now bear in mind that may not sound like much, but when you've got Netflix on or something like that, and you're only looking at it 10% of the time, it is the easiest way to earn 200 million ISK. And you also get some pretty nice fancy skins, which, if you're into skin collection, boom, there you go. But I will now quickly show you how much I've made over the last... So if I now add all that I've done over the last 2 evenings while watching, not really paying attention, with a couple procurers and this endurance, we are totaling 80 mil under 2 billion. Now that is a lot of money. You do get a chance to get some faction mods as well, so like True Sanction modules. I got that one, True Sanction Nosferatu. Quite a few of these, which are going to be pretty handy for skill farms and stuff like that. So this is the nullsec one. I don't have a clue about the high sec ones, and I don't have a clue about the low sec ones. I don't do anything in those areas. So those are just unknown to me. Let me know if you do those sites, how much you get for each one, if you can manage to find one on your own. But just in skins, I've got 300 million skins. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, this is absolutely, utterly broken. This is 2 evenings, 2 billion, near enough. And I haven't really... I mean, if I could do more if I move these over to skips, or... and did it that way, or if I actually tried to get try hard these sites and go all out on them and get more characters in, you could quite easily rack up more than this. So if you're living in nullsec, give it a go. Mining is not for everyone's taste. A couple of people in my corp said I'd rather sit in station than mine, and I just responded and said I'd rather make 2 billion than sit in station. So yeah, and especially when it's nullsec, so it's predominantly PvP and you get ganked and this, that and the other. It's kind of difficult to get ganked in these because you can only take industrial ships in. Now, I will put a link to the images and stuff in the description below, but I hope you found this one informative. This, as you can see, this is utterly broken, how much money you can make. It's absolutely brilliant, and I am loving it. So until they fix it, or until it ends, I'm going to be making 1 billion a night whilst watching Netflix and films and stuff like that. So yeah, get out there, guys. So if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. You are an absolute top sausage. An absolutely brilliant kind of person. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like if you haven't already, and if you want to see some more broken mechanics on these events and, you know, all that sort of stuff, just how to squeeze exactly a maximum amount of ISK out of these events that they do, make sure to hit that sub as well for your weekly EVE Online content. And of course, guys, stay awesome.